As my husband, when you get to know that me being gay and growing up in Pakistan, it could be punished until death. So how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel horrible. Like, how can you punish someone for being with another person, consensual, like both of them wanted, and then you just punish them for being together, and then even with death? Like, of course it's wrong to punish at all, but you would think it's a fine maybe, but no, they are killing people. It's yeah, really horrifying.
When I moved to Europe, I heard that it was not very different in Europe as well. Of course, maybe it was not that penalty, but it was still illegal or punishable. What do you think? What changed in the mentality or in the system in Europe that today we are here where we are, and you and me, we are married, and we can say that proudly that we are gays?
I think the biggest reason is because LGBTQ plus people were visible. Like, they were not hiding. They were showing that what they were doing is not wrong, is nothing to be punished for. And yeah, then unfortunately, very, very slowly, then politics also understood and slowly changed the laws. So LGBTQ plus people do not get discriminated anymore. Even though also the Constitutional Court of Germany was a very powerful force, which in some regards forced the government to change the laws because LGBTQ plus people also have rights.
And I think you are forgetting one of the very most important parts that religion had to do a lot at that time. And if I'm not mistaken, uh, religion and state they were together at that time. They were not separate at that time, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it's not that easy. Like, religion is out of the state for a very long time now, as like in Germany. But of course, the sentiment is still there. Religion had a large control, or still has a large control over people. They're believing that what especially Christianity says is true, and therefore we should live the life like this. But of course, there was an evolution, and more people understood, okay, belief is something personal. I can choose to live by those rules, but those rules cannot be forced on others.
And do you think this is one of the reasons what is happening these days in the USA? Because when I read in the news that they are treating LGBT communities so bad, and especially for the countries which are developed like the USA, this seems like we are going backwards, no?
It looks like a lot of very religious people got into powerful positions in the United States, especially on the state level, which you don't hear that much in the news, where they make those crucial decisions like what will happen with trans people, which bathroom can they go to, are they allowed to be in the sport of their now assigned gender. And of course, yeah, like same sex marriage is still there because the Constitutional Court said it has to be there in all of the country. But like it happened with abortion, that could change. Of course, I'm not too much into it, so I don't know exactly when it will change, but there is the risk that the Constitutional Court will even abolish same sex marriage. And then, yeah, the United States is already on a very, very bad turn compared to the other Western countries, and it could get even worse if no one does anything against it.
And what do you think what we are doing differently compared to the USA or compared to Pakistan, for example, in Europe?
In Europe, the focus is more on the individual person. Like, you should always ask yourself, if you want to punish something, who is harmed? Like, of course, if you punish theft, for instance, the person who got stolen from is harmed. But if you have two adults of the same gender who love each other or even like each other and they have a good time together, why would you punish them? Same way with transgender people. Like, if they want to change their body because it does not match with their inner gender, what they feel, who is suffering? No one is, to be honest. Like, only the person itself, because it has to go through all that struggle. But this person is not harming anyone else in any shape, way, or form. So it doesn't make any sense to punish them for that or discriminate them for that. Another very important thing is human rights, because every person, every individual has certain rights, and they are anchored in European law, in the national laws of the individual countries. And that's why it's not so easy to make laws against minorities like the LGBTQ plus community. Because all the countries in Europe, in one form or another, they do have a constitutional court which upholds human rights. So even if the government plans to do stuff like this, there is a boundary in the way which will make it harder for them to discriminate.